Folks, welcome back to the No Laying Up preview show presented by the DraftKings Sportsbook. We're back. Folks, we're back. You excited to be back? We took a couple weeks off. It was a bit of a fall vacation for the boys.
We're back, baby.
We're back, baby. This week is the Masters.
Ever heard of it?
The crowd goes nuts.
Well, I'm scripted all in green.
Scripted out. We've got
my green shorts on, baby. I'm ready.
You look like you're ready to report for basic training. Where's that? Fort Benning? That's Georgia, right?
There's many basic trainings.
Oh, of course.
Or if I'm a jarhead, it'd be Paris Island,
right.
South Carolina.
Right, which is also close by, you know.
That's right.
We're in the vicinity is what I'm saying.
That's right.
We've got Butler Cabin vibes fired up here. It's warming the place up.
Butthurt Cabin.
Possibly Butthurt Cabin. Always a thrill. Randy, let me start with you, man.
Oh, my gosh.
You know, I know it's not April. I know this is, in these COVID times, this is extraordinary circumstances, but just take me into your mindset. It's Masters Week. How you feeling?
It's hard to believe it's Masters Week, so trying to get the mind there. Really bummed we're not going to have the blossoming azaleas. That's, you know, my favorite thing year in and year out. But I think this year's edition offers some cool things. One being we're in a tight daylight window, so
absolutely
we're going to be in a little bit different TV time window. We're going to have some earlier finishes. And just really keen to see the foliage around Augusta. I've seen a couple pictures come out this week. I think it's going to be beautiful in its own right. But that's what I'm most excited, just to see the course in November.
I think that's been the big thing everybody's been talking about. How's the golf course going to play? It's November. It's different. Hard to tell, but based on the photos, I mean, everything kind of looks exactly the same, other than the azaleas.
It's overseeded rye.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's turn that over to TC for an overseed take.
No, it's a terrible example for the rest of golf. But really, if we're talking about what I'm really excited for, I hope that the limited daylight window yields a few pace of play penalties.
Oh. Not since Tianlai Guan have we seen a pace of play penalty at the Masters. Speaking of which, they've done a couple things. I don't know if this is going to be an ongoing rule. I don't know if this is, you know, just a 2020 rule. But the cut changed. You see this? It's already. We're recording this on Monday afternoon. Already some news coming out of Augusta National. They changed the cut.
Tell me, I didn't see it.
The Riddler bucking his head.
It used to be, of course, low 50 in ties, plus anyone within 10 shots of the lead, which was sick. Now just low 50 in ties. So another possible shot at Tianlai Guan, who, of course, made the cut based on the 10-shot rule.
Nobody's getting... I think the 10-shot rule is kind of a crowning.
I love the 10-shot rule.
I liked it too.
It's total chaos.
You think that was because of pace of play?
I mean, possibly, right? Try to have less players make the cut to keep things moving, I would guess. But in case you get a weather delay,
if you're within 10
rain.
shots, you're in the mix.
Well, I mean, especially you go 66 on the weekend.
Yeah.
You know, talk to Mackenzie Hughes about the 10-shot rule. It's just
very true.
It's an interesting change. This is technically supposed to be a betting show, so I'm sure that affects, you know, made cut, miscut odds. Of course. Fewer players making the cut, theoretically.
I was all over a couple of those, but, you know, it's like, it's the Masters. Everybody makes the cut, basically. And then DJ informed me of this, so I was going to bet the cat to miss the cut, or to
make the cut.
To make the cut. Now I'm going to miss the cut, I think.
He was right on the threshold, and now you're out.
I wish they'd have odds when you're going to RIP Cat for the first time this week.
That'd be a great prop.
I think, at this point, I don't even need to RIP him. I need to actually, proclaim him. I need to give him a birth certificate because he's presumed dead already.
Right. It would be more of a thing if he came back to life at this point.
You could
He
midwife
looked
him.
so bad at Sherwood.
Yeah.
So bad. He couldn't even walk.
The cat
he's looking a little frail again.
We're in an interesting time in the legacy of the cat right now. Where we were talking before we came on. It's almost like, you know, almost the best thing he can do if he's not going to win. And we should point out we're talking about the actual defending champion of the golf tournament, which is crazy.
It's wild.
It's very wild. But you know, if he's not going to actually literally win or be in contention on Sunday, I'd almost rather he just miss the cut. Just
for sure.
You know. Let's focus on...
Give us undivided attention on the actual...
We need to narrow our focus.
I feel like he can play the course blindfolded. I mean, it's the only place he's been comfy for the last 20 years. Through
Absolutely.
all the thick and thin. So I wouldn't fade him too hard at Augusta.
I was going to say, if he's out of contention Sunday, that'd be kind of fun to blindfold him and see how he does.
Or possibly he could play lefty.
Anything we get from the cat, I think he made a deal with the devil to win last year. Anything we get from the cat at this point is massive win.
Other news coming out of Augusta: past champion Sergio Garcia out with the COVID-19.
Hate to see it.
Hate to see it.
Thoughts and prayers on a speedy recovery to him. Like, he
course.
won't be there. A bunch of other stuff coming out. The new honorary starter, not this year, but in April, or honorary first tee shot. I don't know what you call that. Lee Elder, which would be great. First black man to play in the Masters 45 years ago, I believe.
Long overdue.
Long overdue. That will be an awesome thing to see. Congrats to Augusta on pulling the trigger on that one. That's awesome. Other than that, I mean, anything else, any traditions you guys have, any Augusta, viewing traditions? How do you get jacked up?
Normally I'm sneezing my brains out.
I know, me too. It doesn't even feel like the Masters. Usually I'm miserable.
Allergies, SZM.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I'm so bummed for the 14 and 15-year-old kids that don't get to, go get that memory of playing in the drive, chip, and putt.
This obviously dripping with sarcasm. TC hates the 14, 15-year-old.
So stupid. Have some self-respect.
At the drive, chip, and putt, which was canceled in these COVID times.
Should be permanently canceled.
We can agree to disagree on that one. Neil, anything else? Anything else to what springs to mind?
I think it's going to be a heavyweight lineup of sports on Saturday and Sunday, which is great. I think having football bookend the Masters is that's a treat. So I'm looking forward to, because sometimes after coverage is over, you're like, well, what do I do now? And now it's like, well, just throw on some football games, which will be a treat for sure.
It's truly a big day for the couches of America.
Definitely.
We got the Turkish Grand Prix.
That's right.
On Sunday
to play us into the Masters.
Are they doing the Champions Dinner?
They are.
I have no idea. That's a great question.
As far as I've heard, reports are coming in that they are doing the Champions Dinner.
Has the Cats menu been released yet? That's usually a late Monday, Tuesday thing, right?
Yeah, he's having milkshakes.
I'd love the Champions Dinner.
It's great.
That's one of my favorite.
Well, the picture is always the
traditions.
Best. When you see how old some of these guys look year to year, you're like, whoa, VJ with no hat on. Like, look, Katy Perry. No, wait, he didn't win.
One of the best things about the the sentiment of the take, I think, still holds up. But one of the best things about the Champions Dinner photo, I think, is that the other majors kind of started copying it, and then you have John Daly winning like some of those other majors, so that he's showing up to these, like, it's like, someone like Rich Beam or someone, Sean McKeel, like a dignified, pretty normal looking person, and then you have John Daly who shows up and like ripping cigarettes with loudmouth pants on.
All right, we've got...
Point being, hopefully that gave him enough time to find the Champions Dinner menu.
The Cat, this was back in February that he did this, but I assume it's still
controlling the
narrative.
The case. Releasing it early.
Well, he said he had a Champions Dinner with his family.
Oh, that's right.
Too. Okay. Remember that picture?
Yeah, that's right.
The dog was just staring at the... at the cake, I think.
That's right.
Was that at the Woods Jupiter?
No, it was at home. It was when he was wearing his jacket.
Yeah.
It was the cat at home. There could be a whole Vanity Fair photo shoot
at home with the cat.
I quote the Cat. This is per Adam Woodard of Golf Week in USA Today. Being born and raised in SoCal, having fajitas and sushi was part of my entire childhood. I'm going to go back to what I had in 2006. So we'll have steak, chicken fajitas, and we'll have sushi and sashimi out on the deck, and I hope the guys will enjoy it. He's also considering milkshakes.
A bit of a surf and turf situation.
That sounds like a good menu.
Yeah.
Does that change your betting on the Cat?
I've never thought about Mexican and sushi coming together.
It's a Coblin menu.
It truly is.
Yeah. Well, the other thing about that photo that I get a kick out of is seeing that like height disparity. Like it always reminds me, like, man, Faudo's a unit, and then like,
huge
man,
guy.
Mike Weir is not very big.
Yeah.
You kind of get a sense of, because on TV, like even like McRib looks big, but he's not. He's like 5'10". He's a little guy.
He's a little guy.
But everybody looks like 2 inches bigger on TV. So then when they're standing next to each other, it gives you kind of a sense of what these guys look like in person.
I'm rooting for a vegan or vegetarian at least to win the Masters sometime.
That would be great. That's a good thing to put on your big board of.
Are there any vegans out there? Any staunch vegans or even a pescatarian?
Morgan Hoffman.
That's a good one.
I don't think he's in the field.
Max Homa.
Is he's given up the pescatarian lifestyle.
Okay.
He dips his toe in and
wasn't
out.
cut
It was a very apathetic lifestyle.
It was.
We might have to ask him if he'd go fish only if he won.
That's a good question. Wasn't maybe Honorbahn? Wasn't he in the did you do
Could
like
you imagine how good an Indian
I know it'd be phenomenal.
cuisine would be for
VJ had Thai food from our favorite Thai restaurant in Atlanta, Tamarind.
Really?
Yeah.
How about that?
After he won, I think he won what, 90 or 2000?
I think he won 99 in 2002 something. I don't know.
literal who could say
Total who could say. Point being, to circle it back here.
Such an aside.
You know, you were talking. You mentioned Atlanta, of course. The Schuster/Carter brothers.
He won the Masters in 2000.
Grew up in Atlanta. Weather-wise, what are we expecting in November versus April?
Complete sweepstakes. Who could say?
Looks like a lot of rain.
Crisp.
Looks like cool and
I
rainy.
feel like it's been cool and rainy the last few years in April too. So I don't think it's going to be that different. I do think there's a tropical storm rolling through southeast,
Potentially bucking its head.
and it could be windy.
That's what I was gonna say. It takes me back to like high school football days. You know, late in the season, and it gets windy. Is what I was thinking. Like a nice crisp wind, and if you forgot sleeves that day, you hate to see it.
All right, let's get into some picks here, or at least kind of go through the field. I feel like we saw. What have you? Are you taking anything big away from the last few events? I guess maybe I'll start there.
Not really.
The fall to me has had a very, very, very preseason vibe to it.
I wouldn't
where
even call it preseason.
You saw. I was just thinking like even
It's
last
like
week.
spring practice.
Yeah, like you
Yes.
saw Dustin and Brooks kind of in contention, and it felt very like even if they would have won or not won, it kind of almost felt like it didn't matter. There's a lot of like Brooks, Brooks is back.
Probably,
He looked great.
I was going to say for
He
Brooks
looked great in that first
specifically-
quarter, man. He looked great in that first quarter.
For Brooks specifically, I think you do have to play some import on him playing well,
Yeah.
just because he had taken a while with the injury. So I think that was important. But yeah, it's not really. I don't know. And some of that's like I've been kind of checked out. So
I was gonna say,
personally speaking, I'm not putting much weight on it.
I can't take anything away from it because I haven't watched.
And
in a
that's
while.
kind of a backwards way of getting into what I was trying to say as well, which is that it's been nice to kind of check out a little bit, and that has made me infinitely more excited for the Masters this week.
Off seasons are a good thing.
Yeah, I'm jacked up to watch.
I will
this week.
say the whole season has felt like, a new guy every week. Like from the top 10 or top 20, just, oh my God, JT. Now it's Bryson.
Can't lay.
Like it's just like, yeah,
Go
man,
crack.
Rom. Don't forget about Rom, right?
All in.
Dustin in Boston. Everyone's like, oh my God, this guy's never losing again. And then he
Greatest
just
player
kind
of all
of
time.
disappears again. So it's a sweepstakes. It's truly a sweepstakes. I think there's a lot of guys that are kind of in their prime right now.
Well,
My picks are probably picks from the heart, not the head.
Well, let's start there before we get to like actual picks, because of course we'll be doing the same thing that we did last season, which is taking 100 points, and you're allowed to place 5 bets with those 100 points based on the odds on the DraftKings Sportsbook. We'll get to those in a minute, but I'm with you, Neil, in that it does feel like there's a lot of big game hunters all hunting at the same time. So let's go around the horn here.
Did they give out too many permits?
It's possible. Could be a permitting issue. It could be a sustainability issue. Oh my God, that's a great point. Want to talk about that later. But let's
It's the
start.
tragedy of the commons situation.
God, that's a dumb joke. All right, let's start with of these big game hunters. Let's say there can only be one. Who sticks out to you the most? Tron, let's start with you.
First of all, I just want to get this out there. I'm fading the out of Bryson this week.
Not the question I asked.
He's not the hunter that I'm after.
It's okay.
The antithesis of what you asked.
Yeah, I think. Gosh, I mean, I gotta say DJ.
DJ has had I would say a strong run going. T2, T6 win, second win, T2, T12.
And he got the vid.
And he's a survivor also, which seems to have had no impact on his golf game as he finished runner-up this week as well. Very hard to argue. Hard to argue with that one, TC.
He's plus 900.
Yeah, hard to argue with that one.
Let's keep him away from the stairs this week. Make sure that he's, taken care of. He's
Get
in a
like
one-story
a Cape Cod ranch style.
Yeah, let's keep it one-story house that he rented this year. Hopefully, we'll get some insight on that later on.
I feel like I got to fact check this, but he's been in the top 10, I think, like the last 5 years at Augusta, which is,
That's
seems-
very alleged, though, because I don't remember him ever really being in contention.
That's an interesting
He's
take.
plus 110 to be in the top 10. So it's like kind of a coin flip. I still think that's a good bet, betting him top 10.
Dustin's last Masters, T6, or last 5 Masters, T6, T4, T10, T2. Sorry. And he missed one. So
And it felt like he didn't even play that well.
That was the one he was going to win, though, right?
Yeah.
exactly.
The one he missed.
That was the one he
missed. That's-
definitely,
yeah.
like, wasn't that the legend? Like, Butch Harmon was asking him to sign pin flags already because he knew he was going to win.
I love stories like that.
Randy, who's your big game hunter you're looking at?
Well, in terms of, I was going to say Bryson. In terms of, he has been harvesting lots of meat. He's been eating a ton of protein. I think the one to watch though, in my estimation, God, I don't like any of them. I think Koepka playing well.
Really?
He's a winner.
Plus 1,700.
I like his odds. I'm not saying necessarily he's going to win, but I think out of those bigger names, he's the guy. I want him to still be, the alpha among alphas.
Neil.
Not really in your. Maybe he's a former big game hunter, but TC's been harping on it for the last few weeks. Bubba. I think Bubba is definitely someone to watch this week.
He's a conservationist now.
He is. He's
Talk about pescatarians.
I was going to say, did he change his diet? I think.
so but not when he won his Champions dinner. Was
If he would win this year, I think he would.
It could
Yeah.
portend a pescatarian.
But
Champions
he's been sniffing top tens, and he's been on the first page of the leaderboard a bunch in the silly season here. And then
fascinating
honestly,
story about Bubba also by did Eamon Lynch write it or Golf Week? I forget who wrote it for Golf Week, but
Shoepack.
maybe
wrote it.
Shoepack wrote it about Bubba's
Anxiety.
dealing with anxiety and
Yeah.
like just kind of pulling back the curtain on some of the stuff he's been dealing with. Fascinating
I
stuff.
like the article, but I also was like, you still don't need to be a to people. I think he kind of acknowledged that.
I think he did too, and I have had zero personal interaction with Bubba in many, many, many years, and it seems like from everything you hear, he's kind of starting
mellowed.
to. He's mellowed. I feel like he's starting to turn the corner a little bit.
I don't know if NLU's helped with that anxiety over the years.
That's possible.
Hey, I don't know if like his Volvic golf ball helped with that
That's
either.
true too.
You got to remember, Augusta's this side of the Bubba's not a writer.
No. Bubba tried to write something. It wouldn't go well.
Bubba wants to try to write an article. It wouldn't go well.
Wouldn't go well.
I was joking.
joke.
I was joking.
Was that at
I was
Augusta?
joking.
I was right after Augusta.
I think it was Augusta, right?
Who knows? So again,
Well, my
you could say.
second, the true big game hunter that I'm. This is where it's
I think
from the
you only
heart,
get
is-
one hunter.
No,
Yeah,
well, Bubba really wasn't one of those guys.
Okay.
That was
It's Rory. I think because of the way the season's gone, with like it's a total you forgot about me, motherfucker. Where it's like, oh God, I forgot it. Like when Rahm won at BMW, you're like, oh God, I forgot about Rahm. Like he's a complete killer. Like it's just a new guy every week. And Rory has been off the grid. People talk about him still, but he hasn't done anything. I
Rahm's
think
the
he just
one
pop right up.
I never know what to do with Rahm.
I know. I'm with you. So Rahm is not going to be my big game hunter, but I do want to talk about Rahm in a second. Of course, mine is going to be Bryson. Of
course.
It's just. So I'm going to reference some data golf stuff.
Bryson's
here.
in like a helicopter and he's hunting stuff.
I feel like it's absolutely.
They're turning on the feeds and just
5 p.m. Turn on the corn feeder.
It's a
Come out.
complete enclosed
It's like shooting the deer
situation.
when they're coming out of the
Yes.
bodega.
Exactly.
The Coke and a bag of Doritos.
He's got a guide with him.
pow.
It's got like a bump stock.
You like
on
that?
His,
You
on his
like that?
rifle.
Pow.
Not good.
I'm gonna mess some of these deer up.
You guys said it better than I possibly could. The week sets up well for Bryson is what I'm
There's
trying
no
to
greens
say.
books though.
Sure, that's true. He's still a very, very good putter.
When he has greens books.
That was the big thing
Which
from
the
the
distance
U.S.
stuff
Open.
could all just be a cover for the greens and the anchoring on the arm.
Well, I was gonna say that was the big takeaway from the U.S. Open was just how good his short game was.
Yeah. So what I was gonna say is I'm gonna reference the guys at Data Golf a lot. They do a ton of like cool number crunching and stuff, and they do a course fit tool every week that basically highlights like what the stats are, what the attributes are that really have predicted success on that particular golf course. And at Augusta National, any idea what the two things are that are gonna stick out?
Driving distance and
Putting.
Yes. And Bryson is, of course, the longest player in golf. And I believe he was 10th in strokes gained putting last year as well. So freakishly good.
last year for the
combo
whole year?
For the whole season.
Okay.
Yes.
Respectfully to the Data Golf guys, I have a different metric. It's called who's it a home game for. So we'll see who's.
So you're picking Charles Howell
We'll see whose
III.
proprietary system works best in the end.
I wish there was a prop bet on how many times Bryson ends up in 14 fairway. driving it off 13.
Well, and that's the other thing that really sticks out on Bryson is like everybody. There's been a lot of like noise. You know, oh my gosh, he's hitting it so far. Here's the video where he's screaming. Hopefully, we can edit in this video that I'm talking about. I hope you guys saw it. The one from the charity day where he gets up and he steps up and he goes 208.
I can't even laugh. Everything about Bryson just offends me.
For sure, but
if you're not leaning in at this point,
exactly, and that's what we gotta circle back to. A couple things,
you're just depriving yourself.
A couple things I want to point out. One is if you follow golf as closely as I think all of us do, and you watch it so much, you cannot help but just roll your eyes at all the just like ball washing of Augusta National, right? What would be better than the guy screaming 208, blowing it into 14 fairway, flipping a lob wedge onto 13 green and making eagle all 4 days?
Patrick Reed and Sergio.
And how fun was that? Up there. Exactly.
No, I don't think that was all that fun.
This would be that times
I love
million.
My
Sergio
problem with
win.
that with Bryce, I just feel it's like it's dirty money. Like I feel like it's like a mortgage-backed securities or something betting on Bryson. It's like, man, that's like.
But I feel like
that makes me feel dirty.
I feel like the ends.
Payday lending.
Yeah, it's not good. I feel like a loan shark.
The ends are going to justify the means, as we've been saying on the podcast for a long time. If anything's going to happen with equipment, it's because Bryson just murdered enough deer that they have to change the regulations.
I'd rather have that than an abundance of like misters and class acts.
Yes.
And,
If he wins and the Riddler gets up and says, "Hey, we're next April they're going to a uniform ball," like all for Bryson winning. Guys, we haven't even mentioned the world number 3 yet.
Well, we haven't mentioned the world number 2 yet, John Rahm. I mean,
no, we said like we don't know what to do with Rahm.
Well, you said that. I think he's like. I think it's a coin flip between. I think it's those two and the rest. And I say that
Is JT the forgotten man?
for sure, deeply the forgotten man.
Yes.
But I think it's. I don't know.
Let me read off his last few results: T2 at Zozo, T12 at the CJ Cup, T8 at US Open, T3 at the Tour Championship based on 72 hole scores, 1 in Memphis, and he won the work, and he came in second at the Workday.
I mean, he's phenomenal.
He's had a great stretch here.
Rahm's looks similar though,
Yeah,
and
JT might
Rahm's
be-
finished T9, T4 in his last 2 Masters. I mean,
I
it's
feel like JT gets squirrely with the driver,
yeah.
and this place is perfect for him.
Well, and that was going to be the third thing I was going to point out about that course fit tool is the one thing that they basically look at this week and they're like, yo, this is way less important this week is driving accuracy. And it's one of those weeks where I think we're getting to a point in golf now where it's really hard to picture it not being
a driving contest.
Yeah. Bryson, Rahm, JT,
DJ,
Rory.
And Lefty's bringing his 58-inch driver or whatever he's got.
And Phil will be
Let's get
signing
to some
autographs
bets,
at the
'cause
Hooters.
I think we got to talk about
launching
some
balls
bets
over
here,
Washington
right?
Road. Let's get to some bets. Exactly. Who wants to go first?
I'll lead it off.
Please.
Please.
So a guy we didn't talk about, but one of my lasting memories of last year, other than the cat, was how he played down the stretch. Xander. I've got
course.
Xander to win plus 1,500.
The X-Man.
I think that's good. Pretty good odds for a guy that.
How many nuggets?
20. I forgot to put nuggets in. So we're just gonna go 20 across each one.
The data golf again. The data golf guys nuking. They started this new pressure tool. How guys are playing under pressure, kind of quote unquote, in the final rounds. Some damning stuff for Xander. That
This was
looked up.
and the reason I like him is this is the one place I saw him handle the pressure well.
That's true.
Tiger just went out and beat him, but he came in strong on the back 9 on Sunday, and I was very impressed. That was kind of a lasting memory from last year for me. Number 2, Bubba, top 5 plus 600, 20 nuggets. I don't think Bubba wins, but I think he's going to be on the first page of the leaderboard.
Yeah.
And there's plus 600. I kind of like those odds.
Dude.
From the heart here, because I wouldn't forgive myself if I didn't bet on him and he won. Rory to win plus 1,400. So that's just kind of for my sanity. Matty Fitz over Billy Joel, aka Jason Kokrak, minus 125. Enjoyed the Matty Fitz NLU
That's an
pod.
interesting matchup
That's a
there
very
on
interesting
either
one.
side of the spectrum.
I remember seeing Matthew Fitzpatrick at Augusta last time we were there for practice around like 3 or 4 years ago. And I just, he kind of reminds you of Spieth a little bit. I'm kind of hoping he can put it together and at least beat Billy Joel.
I always think he looks like he's dressed up as Spieth for Halloween.
Yes,
a good
with
one.
Under Armour stuff. So, and then last but not least, of course, my weekly Ches bet.
Of course.
Ches is plus 2,800 to win. We're not going there. Or sorry, plus 2,800 to top 10. plus 300 for top 30, plus 450 for top 20 after day one. So I'm going with plus 450 for a top 20 after day one, and then I think he fades.
That's an instant gratification bet.
Exactly.
Which I like.
We're just going to clear, I have to bet on Ches. It's, part of my, morals.
Part of your religion.
Yes. And so that's for 20 as well.
Let's start to Solly real quick. Solly's not here. He's out playing some competitive golf.
Just got word from Solly. He said he'd never been wetter. I think we all know how that one turned out.
Yeah. Possible glandular plus nature issues going on. Let's see what he had in store for today.
Thank you, fellas. Indeed, qualifier did not go well. Just recently thawed out, dried out. That's not what you're here to hear about. Full disclosure, I got to be honest. I've been so enamored with Bryson and the lines he's going to be taking and everything that's about to happen that I haven't really thought about anyone else for the Masters until this moment. Scrolled through the odds, found a lot of things I really like. Really wish I could have over 100 nuggets this week because I like a lot of little smaller plays that aren't going to be too exciting. But Xander Schauffele, top 10 after round 1. 20 nuggets on that at plus 300. Tony Finau, top 20 after round 1. He's not going to play himself out of the tournament. He never does. 30 nuggets on that at plus 164. We have John Rahm over Dustin Johnson. People are falling in love with DJ. I get it, but really good odds on Rahm. You can get him at plus 100. You had to lay a bunch of money on DJ on that one. Rahm's had great success. Saw some stats that his par 4 and par 5 scoring has been the best of anyone over the last couple of years or something at Augusta. I'm going along with, to spoil some picks you're about to hear. Jordan Spieth, 10 nuggets at plus 7,000. If he wins and I don't have the pick, I'll never live it down, never forgive myself. Lastly, my guy, I don't think he's necessarily going to win. He's not my pick to win. I would honestly pick Bryson. Just the odds are not any good. But 20 nuggets on Patrick Cantlay at plus 2,800 to win the Masters. He was super close last time out, and I am feeling it. I'm feeling it for Cantlay. That would be who I would put my money on. So send it back to the studios with the boys.
Thank you, Solly.
Thank you, Solly. Randy, what do you got?
Oh, boy. I forget who I mentioned earlier. Augusta is always a sentimental pick time for me. So I have, of course, 5 plays. Let's start with I'm taking Phil over Tiger. Straight up matchup.
That's a good matchup bet.
Plus 125. I'm putting 30 points on that. I'm going another matchup. I'm going Rory over Bryson. I think the McRib being back portends well to Rory's chances this week. He also is plus 125. I'm putting 30 points on that. I'm doubling down on Rory to win Group A, where he's plus 450, putting 20 points on that. And then I got a couple longer shots to win. You said it. I got 10 points on Bubba to win, a plus 3,300.
God, we're lining up great this week.
I know.
Rory and Bubba.
And then, of course, the ultimate sentimental pick, Spieth to win at plus 7,000, putting 10 points on that.
Hell yeah.
So
Good for you.
total heart plays this week.
Randy, great stuff.
Thank you.
TC, please.
Hello.
Well, before TC goes, I just want to say this. I'm sorry you guys can't file your taxes with Sergio.
That's a
Was
great
that
point.
since he's won? Have you still bet on him?
I don't bet on him anymore now.
Now that he won?
That's
Okay.
Yeah.
And actually, I think starting the year before he won, they stopped betting on him as well.
After
Unfortunately, that's exactly
After 8 or 9
And
years.
then you guys got audited. It was bad.
that
It was really tough seeing.
Yeah.
How long did you guys bet on him for?
at least 6 years.
Yeah, 6-7 years. Tough.
Like good odds too. It sucked. I did, I don't know. I don't want to go there.
All right, well, let's balance the scales then. Who do you got this week?
You know what? Randy and I are similar wavelength. I'm going to do a Hines. I'm going to do a Hines bet. This is one wager with 6 plays housed within
Sure.
it. We're going Phil over Tiger.
57 individual bets that
Yeah.
somehow one bet.
$1 per each one of those cost me $57 too. So it's a true Hines. Phil over Tiger, Rory over Bryson, Ches over Westwood, phenomenal value there, plus 138. Spieth over Wolf. I think Wolf, I don't know. I'm not feeling him this week. Scheffler over Fleetwood. That one hurt my heart a little bit, but and then DJ over Rahm. And that pays out 917.07.
Okay.
And then I'm going Adam Scott, low pass champ,
Another survivor.
It's a great prop.
plus 500 for 13 nuggets. Spieth plus 500 for a top 10 nuggets. JT plus 1250 for 10, and DJ plus 900 for 10. And that's Dustin Johnson, not Dennis Pyhowski.
Thank you.
Thank you. I really like those picks.
Yeah.
I do too. Well,
Even your Hines,
yes
I can't
and
really
no.
keep up, but all the matchups, I was kind of leaning TC's way.
He's like he's reading from the tax code or something. He just
Yeah.
started like,
Yeah, okay, sure.
yeah, for sure. That's the
I know.
it's the
No,
code
it's,
of
it's more like
Hammurabi.
this. It's more like, oh, I know his name. Oh, I know that guy too.
Ooh, yeah, wow,
oh, yeah.
interesting.
Okay,
Good
cool.
value.
Well,
Good value.
the Masters is tough because there's not a whole lot of underdogs. There's not
totally.
a whole
Good
lot.
point.
I didn't even see a low AM bet or anything like that.
I know, and that's where I struggle with the Masters. Is so many people are filling out pools and they're looking for like, oh, who's the dark horse? Like, yeah, it's probably not going to be a dark horse. It's probably going to be one of like 6 guys, and that's just
Like I looked
these
long,
are the times we live in.
I looked long and hard at like a Finau top 5 bet or a Finau top 10 bet, but I want to bet on dogs.
DraftKings needs to get us the Tony Finau non-competitive top 5 bet.
That's a great one. And also DraftKings, you got to get us a prop whether the Lee Elder, Nicholas, and Player hit the fairway off the first tee. I think
That's
that'd
a
be
great one.
great prop.
Yeah.
Who
Well,
would,
Lee Elder's kicking up in April.
In April,
so
so-
maybe we can get that done by April.
Okay.
who would like where would you get that intel? Because they never show where the ball goes.
You'd have to have some studious markers on the ground probably for you. Maybe some
A
employees.
rogue volunteer.
Yeah. We'll effort that for sure. All right, I'll bring us home. My picks. This is of 2 minds here because it's horrible value. The odds are awful. Bryson
So deep in his
Bryson.
jock.
to win plus 800. Been saying it for months. We weren't even planning. Weren't even planning on him to win the U.S. Open. That was just gravy. But we
Fish in a barrel, brother. Fish in a barrel.
all we've been talking about is how well the golf course is going to fit him. And one thing I will say about Bryson, this is why I brought up the pressure tool thing earlier, is despite the fact everybody's making fun of him all the time, despite the fact that he puts all these massive expectations on himself, he doesn't typically like crater. You know, like there's a lot of guys who would do all that stuff and then not show up, and he has absolutely showed up. He could have won at Harding Park as well. And I think this golf course it's shockingly like it's scary how well it's going to fit him. So
DJ, I just want to point out, you had him at plus 800.
yeah, has it gone down?
It's gone to plus 900.
Oh,
I'm
huge.
I'm going to be on your side
Well,
here.
that's great. I probably have some updates to my odds then from when I picked these this morning. But I'm doing 80 nuggets on him to win. That's to win. That was to win 720, but now it's to win, whatever plus 900 is. And then I got 20 nuggets to just get loose with. These are just going to be heart picks, just fun stuff to watch throughout the week. Matt Wolff, he was plus 4,000 this morning. I don't know what he is now. I'll go 5 there to win 205. Any player to shoot 62 or lower.
I was looking
saw
at that
that
one.
one.
That's
Why
a good
not?
one.
Hell yeah. It's probably going to be Bryson.
Maybe November it plays a little easier.
Who knows? I'll do 5 there to win 105. Just because I need to be there when it happens. I'll do 5 on Spieth. I believe you said plus 7,000.
Yep.
And then I've got a mega bonus parlay to close things out. These are all group winners, all parlayed for 5 nuggets. Bryson, Cantlay, Patrick Reed, Matt Wolff, and Paul Casey. That's plus like 170,000 or something like that. 5 nuggets there to win 8,500.
That would be fun.
It'd be fun. So listen, we've got plenty to watch. We've got plenty of coffee and beer to drink throughout the week. We've got live shows coming up. We'll post those as podcasts. We got another podcast, a preview podcast tomorrow. We got all kinds of shit going on, right?
We do.
Yes.
It's a big week.
Big week.
We're back in the saddle. You
Yeah.
know, it's like let's go, baby.
Ready to lock back in and watch some golf. Any parting thoughts?
Pow.
208, baby.
208.
208!
Like all right. Is anybody on Death Watch right now? Or is
He's betting
great
on Rory.
question.
He's dead. This is like the movie Ghost.
Rory's dead. Yeah.
Rory's Patrick Swayze.
Guiding Randy's hands at the betting pool.
DJ is dead for this event. He will come back to
guiding
life
his fingers.
only for the Open next
so if-
next year.
If
Okay, that's
DJ
big.
wins this event, it doesn't count.
He's already died. He if he wins this event, he's like a White Walker.
He's
He's
in
a
like
zombie.
hospice
It's like
care.
undead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if he wins the Open, he's alive because he gets that event.
Doesn't make
Okay.
no, that's so stupid.
For sure.
Listen, it all is.
All right. Well, thanks for joining. And we'll see you guys back here soon.
God, I hope Spieth is in the mix.
Oh, me too.
208. Woo!